Once upon a time at a company known as Squaresoft, a bunch of people were getting high on crack. They decided to think of ideas for a new game. Let's make a crossover with Disney, they thought, and then somebody thought, sure, we'll make this game with Disney. Disney approved because they know they could milk this game and sell millions and shit, so they did it. And sadly, this has spawned two crappy things. A crappy franchise and a crappy fan base full of teenage fangirls, it's not as bad, but it ranks up there with the My Little Pony and Sonic fan bases for worst fan bases. So let's start this game, shall we? When you first start the game, you'll see that this game was actually designed by Disney. Yes, Disney actually approved this garbage. Somebody at Disney thought, let's make a game and it'll sell, so they did. This game, sadly, is also not as good as the older Squaresoft games. Unlike the other good games they've made, this game is not very good. There's no real gameplay, the plot's just and, well, the gameplay is just press X. So, let's see the game, shall we? When you first start the game off, you see a really long intro video, which you've probably seen from lots of Justin Bieber AMVs and Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace and all those other shitty bands teenage girls use for their reviews, or AMVs. And, yeah, it seems like they put a lot of money into this intro. It's Square Enix, though, so what did you expect? The game is just... Let's just start the gameplay, shall we? Because this intro is just nothing really interesting. Just feels like an acid trip. You play as a gender-confused dude named Sora, who's having the worst acid trip of his life. As you can see, he looks like your average, everyday Japanese anime kid. I wonder why they do this, but then again, I don't know. It's a Square Enix game that's modern. So you stand on top of some stained glass of the one Seven Dwarfs movie. I haven't watched a Disney movie in a while, but the other thing you'll notice is the graphics aren't that great. As you can tell by the fact that the character model looks pretty basic and the textures look pretty basic too, you can tell this game was never meant to push the PS2's hardware very much. Especially then considering this game came out in, 2002? Yeah, this game came out in 2002, so that's part of the reason why it doesn't look that good, but then again, I've seen better graphics from before this game came out, so... Yeah, the first part of the game lasts several hours and is a long tutorial. You start walking by watching all this gay shit about how pick up fucking items, choose your goddamn item, and pick what you want to fucking do. So, what you have to do is you have to pick shit. I'm seriously betting all my friends chose the sword and the shield because, you know, magic is for pussies, but... What the fuck? Let's skip a little. The gameplay is pretty much press X to win. All you do is walk around next to those little bitches and kick the shit out of them with your sword. Most of the enemies in the game, what I've seen so far, they look like the same black shit. All you do is you hit black shit with your giant ass key or some shit. You know, it's kind of stupid. Why didn't they think of more creative enemies? Such as, Final Fantasy had some good enemies. Why don't they just use those instead of these dumb black things? I mean, it's uncreative. Even a 5-year-old could have come up with this crap. And there's even a lock-on button, so it automatically locks on. You don't even need to look at the screen. All you have to do is press X, and the game plays itself. This is stupid. So after a bunch of useless pressing X, you just tell a bunch of guys random stuff. And yeah, it's supposed to influence your guy or some crap like that, but honestly, I just want to play the game right now. I don't want to have to go through all this pointless crap just to play. I want to be thrust into the story. When I start Mass Effect, I don't have to go through this much stuff. I actually get to set stuff, and then the game actually starts. There's no forced tutorial. Like, that's a much better game than this. Especially when they give you the asking questions part, or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That game, at least they only ask you like 5 questions, and then you start the actual gameplay, and then you get thrust into it without having a tutorial making you feel like an idiot. Or they give you little hints when you're playing the actual game instead of just, Oh, stand in a corner and click X. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so I've skipped through this several-hour forced tutorial, and I'm gonna just cut to the gameplay. The gameplay is absolutely horrible, like I said earlier. All you do is press X to beat people up, or enemies up with a key. That is all you do. The plot was pretty uninteresting. Yeah, it's a crossover with Final Fantasy and Disney, but that wasn't enough to keep me going. The gameplay is pretty bad too, especially with the broken camera. You still have to use L and R triggers to move the camera like in Sonic Adventure. And the camera just has a mind of its own. It's spinning in circles, going wherever it wants, and all you're doing is wondering, like, oh my god, how do I fix this? Sadly, you can't, because this game is bad. The music, there was nothing very memorable. Unlike other Final Fantasy games where you remember the music, there was nothing really memorable in this. This has got to have, like, the worst soundtrack of any Squaresoft game. All in all, this game is just bad. The graphics are pretty bad. No textures whatsoever for half of it. Textures are poor quality. Graphics, this music is not very memorable. The gameplay, is there even gameplay? The story is just trashy. So all in all, don't get this game. Please, let this game sit where it belongs, in the used bin. Don't buy this crap. All in all, this has just got to be one of the most boring games I've ever played. But thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and one more thing. If you really want a good Square Enix game, go get Final Fantasy Chronicles, or Anthology, for the PS1. You'll have a lot more fun playing through Chrono Trigger 5 and 6 than this garbage. So all in all, thanks for watching, and don't buy this.